welcome to Pixel Vixen channel. I am Pixel Vixen, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So if you've been watching my Doom videos, you have noticed that I have a lag problem. And I did mention in one of those videos that I was in the process of upgrading and that I would probably be upgrading before the videos were released. And that's happening now! I'm going to do an unboxing with my stuff. It finally came today and I'm so excited! It squealed until my voice broke. This is only a partial unboxing because I've been receiving components all week long, but I am still super excited, so I'll show you guys what I've been using and what came and like how this whole thing is gonna work. So this is my current computer. I'm just like showing you with my webcam. It is an old Aurora, Alienware Aurora, and I love this computer to death. I bought it in 2011, I think. And it's awesome, but it definitely has like a bottleneck problem. And that bottleneck problem is that the processor is it's not great. Here's the Alienware keyboard. So yeah, that's just my current rig, my current beast. My Alienware, like I said, I think it's over 5 years old, and when I got it, it was really impressive, but it has been several years since it has been able to, I guess since it's been top of the line. And its bottleneck is definitely its processor. And like I said, like there is no reason really for me to be complaining. I can still actually run everything. Like I remember when I was little, I had all the hand-me-down computers. So like my dad is a software engineer and he would constantly need new computers in order to, you know, stay relevant and keep programming. And so I would get the leave-ins, and sometimes those leave-ins wouldn't even run games. Like, I remember, oh god, what was the first game that I couldn't run because my computer just was not up to snuff was Black and White 2, I think. And that was during a time where I was a little bit of a rebel, so I downloaded Black and White 2 back before that was a thing that you did. And I couldn't get it to run. Like I jumped through all these loopholes and I tried to get it to start up, and it wouldn't even start up because my computer was just so outdated and just not doing it. And so when I say that I'm upgrading, but I haven't run into a problem where I physically cannot run any games, I kind of feel like a snob. But I'm also kind of a snob now. Like, since I've grown up, I've moved out, I've gotten a job, I've worked hard, I've been a lot more open to, you know, buying myself gadgets and toys that I love to play with. And computers are my favorite toy. Like, I always want to upgrade my computer and get, like, the best thing that I can. And so, like, even though it is kind of snobby for me to even be considering upgrading, because like I could lower my graphics settings, I could do some performance optimization within the game, I could turn off these features and stuff. Like I don't want to. I want the full game experience. I want to know what the developer had in mind when they made that game and experience it in its entirety instead of experiencing half of it because I have to turn everything down. So yeah, that's why I've upgraded, even though I like don't need to. I still did it. So like it's too late. It's done now. It's happened. So yeah, let's get to the unboxing. Oh my gosh. So first I'm going to show you guys my case because it's already unboxed. That was the first thing that got here. No, it was the second thing that got here. The first thing that got here was the RAM. So the second thing that got here was the case, and I love it. I love it because it's weird. Like it's super dorky. This is the case. That's the whole thing. I got a mini. So this is a Fractal Design Node 804. And it's a square case. And it is tiny, but it is really open. I don't know. You guys probably can't see. You probably can't see in there, but it's like, it's super open. And there are vents everywhere. Like that whole thing is a vent. And so it stays really cool. All the reviews on it gave it like A+. And because of how low my desk sits, I actually needed something mini. I needed something that was, 14 inches or less or lower. And I think this one gave me millimeters. I can't read millimeters. I'm an American. So it needed to be like, I think it needed to be under 15 inches now that I'm thinking about it. And I'm pretty sure that that case is 13. And so that's why I got it, was because it needed to be low enough to fit underneath my desk in the slot that I had designed for this desk. So instead of like having a mess of cables and everything, I just went with a small case, which I actually like. Like, I think it's really charming having a tiny square case. I think it's really quirky and fun, and I love it. I love weird things like that. And I've never seen a square case before. And so I was like, what is that? I want one of those. So yeah, I got one. Sorry, I'm still eating breakfast. So the second thing that came was the RAM, which we got from Amazon. Amazon had the best price on this. I'm starting small because both my husband and I are still students, you know, and we're working full time. And so our budgets are pretty tight. So I wasn't able to get 32 like I wanted, but I got 16, which is 8 more than I have now. So I have 16 gig of RAM, and it is the Ballistic Sport 2 sticks of 8, and this also got top marks in the reviews, so I'm really excited to use it and try it out. Like I said, I wish I could have had 32, but you know, it really doesn't matter. I say that because I've done a ton of research, and the research says, like, if you're editing, you're doing like high quality video capture, and you're trying to do like all this other stuff all at the same time, having a lot of RAM is really good. But other places that I've looked have also said that you really wouldn't notice a difference unless you're doing like professional level. Well, my husband is an audio engineer, so he notices a difference. He actually needs 32 gig of RAM. He could actually maybe even use more sometimes, but the program that he uses is Pro Tools, and Pro Tools needs that much RAM in order to even function. And so he needs it, but for my purposes, I probably wouldn't even notice a difference. I might notice like a little bit better response time in Premiere as I'm editing, but it's unlikely. Like, I think that 16 is probably sufficient, and it's more than enough for most games. Like, most games are cool with 16, so I think it'll be perfectly fine, and I'm really excited to have double the amount of RAM, because this computer is pretty slow. That was actually a main complaint of the Aurora, was that the Aurora was like super slow, and like especially in boot time. So I'm excited to like experience a new life with a new faster boot time. Like, I'm super stoked. Now we're to the things that I haven't actually opened yet. This box, I believe, is the CPU. Oh man. You guys want to see my knife? My brother made this. Isn't it sweet? Yeah, okay, so if you've watched Minecraft Mondays, Snow, who I play with, is my brother, and he loves to tinker and he loves to make stuff, and so he made me this knife from a file. This is a file and scrap wood, and it fits perfectly, and it is like razor sharp. I love this knife. I probably shouldn't be holding it because I'm super clumsy, and I'll probably like accidentally gut myself, which would be awesome. I'd upload it anyway though, just for you guys, because you guys are kind of freaky and you like weird stuff. Ah, it is! It's the CPU! Oh, it's so tiny. This little box. Hello, Loki. Here, do you want this? Loki loves boxes, by the way. This is my cat, Loki, and he loves boxes. If I put this down, he will jump into it, I guarantee. Here. Go jump in that. Good boy. Okay, so we had to make a decision on the CPU, again, because of budget constraints. What I'm running right now, what am I running right now? I am running an i7 2.67 gigahertz, so 2.7, 8 CPUs. So what we did is we did a ton of research, and bear in mind, my dad is a software engineer, my brother is a software engineer and a system admin, and my husband is going to school for computer science. So I'm not an authority on this. I have reliable sources for this information. So that's what I'm running right now, and that's kind of why I'm a bottleneck, because I'm not even at 3 yet. I could overclock, but I'm afraid to. I'm afraid to overclock, and the reason why is because, again, I used to get leftover computers from my dad. and he loved to overclock. And so I got all of the unstable computers that had problems because they were overclocked or they had these hardware issues. They were just like randomly blue screen. My Alienware has been so sturdy. It has been as stable as a rock. Like, I don't know that I've ever had a blue screen with this computer. It is fantastic. So that's why I haven't wanted to mess with anything, because I'm like, it works fine. And I haven't really had any problems with it, and I don't want to, like, encourage problems. So I've just avoided the whole thing. So what we ended up getting in order to be, conscious of the budget and also upgrade me pretty significantly is we got me an Intel Xeon. And the reason we got a Xeon, now this is, again, not from me, but from all those other people that I mentioned who are actually, like, authorities on this, well, relatively, is that the Xeon, the difference between a Xeon and like an i7 is that an i7 has onboard graphics and an i7 has the ability to be overclocked. A Xeon doesn't. A Xeon, it doesn't have onboard graphics and it doesn't have any overclock capacity. So the clock you get is the clock you get, which I'm fine with because, again, I'm not really comfortable with overclocking, even though the technology is better now. So it's like, I probably wouldn't really run into a problem overclocking, honestly, especially now. But I'm still like, I'm just nervous, I guess. I'm just nervous about it, so I don't want to do it. And I don't need onboard graphics because I have a graphics card. So we went with this. It is mainly used for a server, but it will run just fine as a personal computer CPU. So it is a Xeon processor E3, 3.4 gigahertz. So that's obviously like way better than what I've been running. I'm super stoked for this. Oh my gosh. To have a better clock speed. Then we have to go to the big box. The big box. The unnaturally large box, actually. There's like no reason for it to be this big. Because I don't have that much stuff in there, I don't think. Actually, don't remember. I got soup. This is... Oh, that's kind of cool. Make more than a meal with HelloFresh. Enjoy fresh ingredients, healthy recipes, and memories to be had. Delivered each week with HelloFresh. $50 off your first 2 boxes. So that's kind of cool. Since when does Newegg do promotionals? I'll check it out. I'll see what they're up to. Oh man. Okay. So like of the things that I got, I mentioned that the CPU is really exciting, but I also am super stoked for this guy. So this is my solid state drive. It's only 240 gig because I am only gonna put big programs that I use on it. It's gonna be my boot drive, first of all. And I'm gonna put like my editing software on it, any main big programs that I use most, basically the Adobe suite is gonna be on this. Honestly, I don't think anything else. Having this as your primary boot drive and having Windows installed on a solid state makes a world of difference. All of the men that I mentioned recently, so my husband, my dad, and my brother, all have their operating systems installed on a solid state. And their boot time, I am not kidding you, from the time they push the button to the time that the logon screen shows is, I think, 5 seconds. Like, it is just done. And for me, I think it's 3.5 minutes. Like, I have to turn on my computer and walk away. Having this, like, this will be life-changing, I think. So I mentioned I would probably install my Adobe suite on it. My Adobe suite right now, when I start up Premiere, it usually takes 2 minutes for it to fully load and to get going. So that like numerically seems really low. It's like 2 minutes, whatever, grow up. But just sit for 2 minutes right now. Just sit. Don't do anything. Just sit. And you'll realize how long that actually is when you're like trying to get something done. And so if I could lower that to like less than a minute, I feel like my workflow would be significantly better. Oh god, this is heavy. Oh, it's shiny. I'm sitting in front of a window, can you tell? Yes. Okay, so we got the EVGA Supernova 550 G2, and it's a gold. So power is super important, guys. Like, you have to be able to power your rig. And because we were doing a budget rig, we got the best, smallest power supply we could. I did this whole thing using PC Part Picker, and it'll give you your power rating as you're selecting components. And so 550 should cover it because I think my power rating was at, I think it was at 350 actually, maybe 400. It was low. And so having a 550 will be good. But if I ever want to upgrade, I will probably need to upgrade my power supply as well, just to be safe. Like usually you want about 100 watt barrier, and just in case. So like if your power rating is 400, you want to get a 500 just to be safe. Like you never want to be pushing your power supply. You never want to be pushing that limit, because if your power supply goes, game over. We got me an awesome power supply. This thing is pretty heavy. I think it's probably a couple of pounds. But it's power supply, it's supposed to be heavy. Okay, and we got a gigabyte tiny motherboard to fit in my tiny case. So this is what we ended up with. Let me see if it's a pretty color. I'd be surprised, because we're cheap. Nah, it's just green. I think it's just green. It's in a black static bag, but I think it's green. I'm somebody who's really fussy about my motherboard brands. Actually, no. I'm really fussy about most of my electronic brands, and the reason being is because, again, like sort of conditioning because of my dad and my brother, but also because they know the technicalities that I don't, and so I'm willing to take their opinion and weigh it more heavily than I am just like Amazon reviews or Newegg reviews. So I specifically asked for Gigabyte or Asus motherboards. And the reason I say asked is because my husband helped me build this computer. He like sourced everything. Like he's a fantastic guy. So I specifically asked for Gigabyte, which I got, and it was fairly inexpensive. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's just a standard board. There's nothing really special or fancy about it, because again, this is a budget build, and it's budget with longevity. So like it'll last probably another 5 years at least before I'll really need to upgrade, unless CD Projekt Red releases a new game before then. It's just your run-of-the-mill tiny motherboard, and it's tiny to fit in the micro case. Mini case? The small case. It is awesome, and I'm excited. It's not special or fancy or anything, it's just budget motherboard. And last but not least, Windows 10. Wanders. Yay! I have been resisting the Windows 10 upgrade because I hate the interface. I hate having all of those little apps. Like, why? It's a PC, for crying out loud. I don't need apps on my PC. I already have to deal with that nonsense on my phone. I don't need it on my PC too. But it does have better performance, and it's way cheaper than trying to find a copy of 7 somewhere. You guys are probably wondering, wait a minute, Vixen. What the heck? You don't have a main hard drive and you don't have a video card. And I would say you are right and very astute, valued watcher. The reason that I don't is because I'm actually going to lobotomize my current PC. I literally, not even a year ago, upgraded my video card. So I'm running an NVIDIA GTX 960 right now in my Alienware. So I do not need to buy a new video card. It's a pretty sweet video card. Like, the only way I could get better is if I were to drop like $300 on a Titan. Like, I don't need that right now. And so I'm gonna just use the one I have in this old PC. And this PC also has 2 1TB drives in it. So I'm just gonna use one of them and have that as my main drive in the new computer. That's my unboxing. That's everything. And so I'm really excited to get this thing built and to start using it as my main recording rig and my editing rig, because I'm having some leg problems. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys could share in this experience with me for unboxing. Like I said, I probably won't get a new PC for a long time, so I'm really glad that you guys were able to like experience the excitement with me and be like, yay, with me. And so thank you so much for clicking this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Yes,
Okay.